Due to the United States and England tying in the World Cup, the mediator, Drake, will be keeping 21 Savage. What a hot way to start out. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good.
Mine was pretty good. So I have a funny story. So my grandfather is he's a real goofball.
Yeah.
He's a real goofball.
Yeah.
He's white.
Yeah.
He's a white man.
Is this the extremely racist one?
When you say racist,
In what context? No, I think I know where you're going with this. In the South, is he just like he's kind of normal?
in the South, he's a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's just a good old boy. He's a good old boy.
He's a good country boy.
We would refer to him as,
Yes.
A lot of other people would refer to him as a fascist,
Yeah.
neo-Nazi,
Yeah. Okay.
those kind of things.
Awesome. So how was your Thanksgiving
We've
with
had
him?
many conversations with him like, hey,
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't say that. Don't say this.
So last Thanksgiving, the subject was race.
Last thing.
Last Thanksgiving. This time around, it was not race, Braden.
Okay.
It was the homosexuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he have to say about our beautiful brothers
Did you know?
and sisters?
Did you know that?
What did he say, Jake?
Did you know that according to my grandfather, if studied in a lab under a scan, the brain of a gay person and the brain of someone with Down syndrome are the exact same?
He did not say
I
that.
swear to God above in heaven.
This older generation just needs to die off.
Why
man.
did COVID not kill them?
They just need to die
How
off.
did COVID not kill them? COVID killed so many people. It killed so many people. How did it not kill my grandfather? I'm not saying I expressly hate the guy,
Yeah.
but would we all not be a little better off if they were gone?
And also, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of it being engineered, which I don't really believe it is, but if it was, why didn't you engineer it to kill the racists?
The racists and old people,
And the
which
homophobics.
conveniently fall into the same category. So that's what my Thanksgiving was about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And we've tried to argue with him before about stuff like this, like last year when he was a black guy born in Chicago isn't an American, he's an African. That was what it was last year. Yeah. Last year, that's what it was when we were like, no, no, that's not how that works. And then this year it was that. And we, for many, many moons, we've tried to be like, hey,
Well, also, why,
shut up.
Why is Thanksgiving? I've been so confused by this forever. Since I was a child.
Yeah.
I don't get the running theme and the running joke, and it's not even a running joke or running theme. Why do people feel the need to, when the stuffing and turkey comes out of the oven, they go, politics time?
Yeah, I don't really get that because also
Why? What?
Like here's the thing, I put on a face during Thanksgiving, and that face is one of me saying the same three phrases over and over. I just need a nap after this. That's
right.
one.
Right?
Another one is, oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
And then the other one is where you make the joke where when somebody comes over and and you like a dish and they want to try the dish, you go, oh, no, this is no good. You don't want any of this. As a white man, those are the three things
that's the holy
that you're supposed to do at Thanksgiving. The fourth one, if you're feeling juicy, is to after dinner, go to the big couch, unbuckle your belt a notch, and go, I don't know if I'll be able to walk out of here. Those are the four paramounts of what you say as a white dude on Thanksgiving.
Amen.
Notice how nowhere in there did I say that you need to bring up homosexual CT scans.
God.
Nowhere in there do you bring that. You know what the crazy thing is? I don't even know how he works it into conversation.
That's what I was about to say.
It appears. It's like when David, you know when David Blaine does that thing where he like walks up to people and he's like, could you get me a glass real quick? And he goes, and he spits out a goldfish. That goldfish is my grandfather with the most problematic things you've ever heard of in your life. You
want to see something? Violent racism.
Literally hate mongering just out of his mouth. And you're like, and we're all just sitting there going, like just looking around at each other. He
hasn't said anything to you this whole time. No, that's the first thing
nothing.
He says.
He doesn't say, "Hey, how's your year?"
And what's weird is that's what's weird to me is that you're not alone.
Yeah,
like that. This is a thing. Why do people do this?
I don't know, man. It's just so weird.
And
like,
almost to the point where their own family that they came with is like, you don't even talk about this at home. Why are you saying it here? Like, why do
they save it? They save it.
Why? Is it what is it? Is it in our genes? What is it?
I think that
is there something in cranberry sauce that makes you go raging politic mode?
I don't know, man. But it's so weird. Like I just don't understand where that. I just don't get it. Like I genuinely don't understand where it comes from or what's happening. But every Thanksgiving, without fail, me and thousands of other like 18 to 25-year-olds
deal with the racist uncle
or the racist grandfather, the racist uncle, the racist somebody that they're like, did you guys see Fox News? And I'm like, no one watches cable anymore, you old fuck.
Yeah.
No one. I told him that, we had a conversation about I don't even know how this got brought up either. But, they were trying to find a game on TV. They were trying to find something. And he was like, the World Cup's on. He was like, we don't have that. I was like, yeah. I was like, I've been following the World Cup a little bit. I was like, Peacock plays a lot of, like, soccer, which is primarily part of the reason I have Peacock. I like watching soccer.
Yeah.
And he was like, what does that do? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, where do you get Peacock? And I was like, well, it's a streaming platform, but, like, I have it on my Fire Stick.
He's like, what is that?
He literally, I'm not kidding. I think that he thought I was part of like a Native American tribe. I said Fire Stick, and he went, he has a PhD in like molecular genetics or something like that.
And he's like,
he's a doctor.
He
is a doctor.
You're watching news on Peacock on your Fire Stick?
He's like, let me get this straight. You watch Fox through a brightly colored bird in your stick of flames. Why didn't you die? Why didn't you drop?
I'm just I'm tired of the old ways.
You don't
of
really
thinking.
have I don't
really have an old crazy person. My stepdad every now and then will get a little carried away, but as every stepdad does.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. Just like to me, this is funny. I love Joe Rogan's bit where Joe Rogan goes, "If you took Thomas Jefferson and brought him to 2022,
oh yeah,
the first thing he would say is, y'all didn't write any new shit?"
Yeah, you showed him the Constitution. He would be like, y'all didn't add anything to that?
Yeah, I love that.
Like, when this was written, it took us 9 days on horse.
Yeah, and I wrote it with a feather.
Yeah, to get from New York to Pennsylvania. God. Now that's like a car, like it's like a 2.5 hour car ride.
Everybody that stands by stuff like that, I'm like, dude, that was written at a totally different time.
That's that's another thing that I just don't get when people talk about like when they're like, oh, well, that's one of our constitutional law, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm like, what do you know what it reminds me? Have you ever seen that clip where the dude who played Uncle Ben in The Amazing Spider-Man is playing the President of the United States? and the woman is talking about how like terrible gay marriage is, and he's like, and she's like, well, it's in the Bible. That's her entire
yeah,
law
and he
against
talks
it.
about
And then
everything else in the Bible.
and then he's like, okay. He's like, well, he's like in accordance with Leviticus, blah blah blah. Should I stone my daughter to death or beat her to death in the town square for wearing two fabrics cut of a different cloth? And he like goes on and on about all these things that are in the Bible.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, technically, if we followed all the rules, we would have to do all these things too.
Yeah.
But like everybody is conveniently just like, well, not those.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
With most everything that was written in 1775. That doesn't even sound like a real year.
It doesn't.
And for some odd reason, we uphold them on banners.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is the law. And I'm like, what?
Like, like I have something in my pocket that can access like every piece of knowledge that the human has had ever.
Yeah. Do you know what I did the other day? I ordered groceries from my phone and they appeared at my door.
Yeah.
And you're screaming about the Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fuck up.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we're getting kind of political, but I like talking about politics in ways that like I don't feel like we're talking politically.
No, not really. I just think that everybody needs to chill the fuck out, especially that specific generation.
Yes.
Of like those people that think like that. I'm like, yo, whoa.
Yes.
like, whoa. Just stop.
Yeah.
Chill.
Out.
Take a breath.
Take
a
breather.
fucking breath, bro.
Take a breather. Speaking of breathers, taking a breather.
This
Chris
is a great segue.
Hemsworth has decided to take a break from acting.
Yeah. So Braden, I have.
Oh no!
I have bad news for you.
What?
I have bad news for you.
Okay. Oh no! Is this about the scan I had done?
So we were looking at your chart.
Oh no! Is this the scan I had done the other day?
We were looking at your chart.
Oh
Braden.
no!
How old are you right now, Braden?
I'm 23.
Fuck. You're 23. Hang on. It was a couple pages. Okay, so you're 23, Braden. God. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you know?
Are we on the phone?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cry.
Are we on the phone?
Did you know?
Are we on the phone?
No, I'm the doctor. I'm looking at my chart.
Then why'd you ask if I'm sitting down?
Okay, I was looking at the chart.
Okay. Okay, keep going.
Did you know, Braden, that
just get it out.
when you are 75, your body isn't going to work like it does right now. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Do you have your affairs in order?
What are you saying? Are you saying when I get old?
I'm saying that there's a chance that when you're older, your brain and body will not function as they do.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Are you saying in 50 years I may or may not get a disease that primarily all of America does when they get in their 70s and 80s?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my God. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. I'm a Hollywood actor.
Here's what I think you
I
should
take
do.
care of my body.
Here's what I think you
take
should
care
do.
of my mind. This is
Chris, take a breath.
No.
Chris.
No, this can't happen to me. I am privileged. I do not get Alzheimer's.
Chris.
I want to remember my wife until I'm 97.
Chris, I'm going to tell you a secret right now, okay? Here's what I would suggest.
I can't act anymore.
Take a step back. How'd you know I was going to say it? Chris, you need to take a step back from acting. Quit injecting so much fucking steroids. Because I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. You post a lot of shit from these Center 6 workouts that are body weight exercises.
And you're the size of a gorilla.
But your deltoid is the size of a baby chimpanzee. So maybe ease up on the test.
Ease up on the trim.
Ease up on the test.
Ease up on the trimbolone sandwiches.
and maybe hug your wife and children.
Because you're not going to remember them.
Because you're not going to remember them when you're 90.
years.
So, in case y'all didn't hear about this, Chris Hemsworth did this whole thing in this documentary that he was in, or whatever the hell it was.
Where someone scriptedly gives him news that when he gets older, it's also scripted like this. When you, in the future, when you get older, you are 8 to 10 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's. He literally responded to that like, and like cuts to like a meditation shot.
Yeah.
And talks about how he needs to take a break from acting.
Did I say this already, that it's the funniest thing ever to script you taking a break from acting while you're acting? Like, to write into a script.
He had to have already known that.
Yeah, they didn't break that news to him because when they broke the news to him, he probably went, damn, that's pretty heavy, you know? Well, I just signed a contract with Marvel to do 19 more movies. And then they were like, Chris, it's serious. And he was like, oh, you want me to play this up for the documentary? And they were like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he went, shit. All right. And then just leaned back and was like, can do.
I just did not get that, man. And also,
this is weird. Like,
it's
I mean,
weird because what the fuck would stopping acting while he's 30
while you're
something?
young still, that doesn't do anything other than, like, I mean, I get it if it, like, you know what's crazy is if this was his thing for being like, oh, I want to take a step back from acting and hang out with my family, he literally could have just come out and been like, look, I've been involved with the MCU for years. I've played a character that I absolutely fucking loved. I've played other roles that I thought were great. But right now, my boys are at an age where, you know, they're making a lot of memories. It's prime time for making memories. And I want to make memories with my family. He was like, I've made plenty of memories with you, the world, with the audience. Now I want to make memories with my family. Yeah. And everyone would have gone, fuck, man, Chris Hemsworth, what a G. That's so good. That's so good, man.
Yeah,
Take
is this
a
like
step
some
back.
weird out? Like to try to like, but also then he came out with talking about like if he wants to come back as Thor, it has to be a completely different character.
Yeah, 8 hours after that, he was like, but if I come back as Thor, he looked at his bank account and was like, well, this is dipped below 90 million. If I ever want to be Thor,
it needs to be a completely different tone.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. I just didn't understand why he brought the Alzheimer's
Personally, I mean, yeah, that makes no sense. But I mean, going off what you were just talking about, I would love like a Nordic, like Valhalla,
like coming back and something's happened to where it forces him to do that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Just cut the comedy out. Like, Thor: Love and Thunder just ran with that, and it was awful.
I would love I mean, not
Did you see the mock-up, the poster mock-up?
Yeah.
It's like Tales of Valhalla, and he's got that braid.
Yeah.
And he's got it looks so good. I would love a good classic like Valhalla Thor.
That'd be pretty cool.
I would love that. But as far as just using your documentary to pump up Alzheimer's, I wouldn't bat an eye. If somebody said, hey, when you get old, you might develop Alzheimer's and you might be more susceptible to it. Okay, thanks for telling me what I'm still, what is he, like 38?
Yeah, I think so.
And so so I'm aware of it, so I can do mental things to and take care of my body better to make it not as likely.
Is there a chance that Liam Hemsworth will develop something very rapidly that makes him not play The Witcher?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Whose decision was that?
Could Liam develop something very quickly where his legs quit working and he doesn't play Geralt of Rivia? Look.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't The Witcher had 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Why not just end?
Just stop it.
Why are you doing a 4th with a different fucking actor?
That's such a... I can't think of a TV show.
Okay, hold on. Is he playing a different character?
No, he's playing Geralt.
Oh my God.
You know what the other crazy thing is? In the Witcher games, you can play or follow the story of other Witchers.
So it would be perfect if he did play to somebody else.
Perfect if he just became another Witcher.
Wait, isn't there girl Witchers?
Yeah, there's girl Witchers.
So this is the perfect opportunity to switch it to someone else.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
nauseating.
I don't know whose like decision this is or what the thought process was here, but
that is awful.
It's not it. This is not it.
I can't follow the logic at all for that. Especially when your source material allows you to change the character, but it still be a Witcher. I don't think that's in many other. You don't have that luxury in other franchises.
No,
like Black Panther, you didn't have that luxury.
No.
Just make another Black Panther, and they did it beautifully.
Yeah, and they pulled it off.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing: if Henry Cavill had been a sublime Geralt, like if I had watched that and been like, he's pretty good at being the Witcher. Like he actually did that really well. If that was my reaction to it, maybe this would be fine. But like the first couple seasons, we all watched it, and we were all like, "Whoa, holy fuck!
Yeah.
He is Geralt."
Yeah,
because also Henry Cavill's a fucking weeb.
Yeah.
He's played the games.
Yeah.
He's read the books. He knows that character. He knows exactly how he acts and what he's supposed to do. And they were just like, I think Liam would do great for this.
I'm not kidding. It would be like them planning on doing like right after Daredevil season 3 came out and recasting him somebody as Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And be like, you've done 3 seasons. Why are you what? What are you doing?
Yeah, imagine in Captain America Civil War,
It'd be somebody else.
Iron Man is somebody else.
God.
Like that's so
messed up.
Yeah.
And also disrespectful to Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're ruining the character he played.
Henry Cavill even put out a post and he was like, I'm pleased to announce that Liam Hemsworth will be taking over my role as Geralt Rivia, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever, man.
Don't do that.
I was like, whatever. I was like, nobody gives a... I was like, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole thing with Hemsworth and the fucking... I'm gonna maybe I'm more likely to get Alzheimer's when I'm older. Cry me a river. The fuck?
Seriously.
Here's the other thing. You're saying all that. Most people get that news and they live in like a 2-bed, 3-bath. They still have 9 years of their mortgage to pay on.
Exactly.
You're a fucking millionaire.
That you could probably, and also, I don't care how much you're more likely. You can probably pay for the most advanced therapies to prevent that, and you know exactly the research
and
to
guess
diet.
What? Even if you can't, that's how life goes.
Yeah. Yes.
You get born, you age. Hopefully, you do something cool. Playing the Norse god Thor falls into that.
Pretty fucking cool.
And then you die.
Yep.
And then everybody around the world goes, fuck, man, do y'all remember when Hemsworth was Thor? That shit was so cool. And then that's how life goes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Done.
Yeah. I don't get it, man. I don't get why you made that such a big thing.
I will say, you know who scared the fuck out of me the other day?
Who?
Robert Downey Jr. when he was at some sort of like awards thing or something.
He was bald?
And he shaved his head bald.
I was like, no.
Dude, I saw that, and I'm not kidding. My heart and my head, like for just a minute, I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
I had a mini panic attack.
I was like,
I had to look it up.
Yeah, I was like, motherfucker. I was like,
you're not leaving us.
I was like, this is not a good year.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not a good year. This is not a good year. Plus, the homeboy just died. The big shout out, by the way.
Chadwick?
No, big shout out to if you were ever a Power Rangers fan, which I was a huge Power Rangers fan. Jason David Frank died. Who was the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, Black Ranger, and the Red Zeo Ranger was the 4 things that he was, and
legend.
That's fucked up. He was, that's pretty fucked. Rest in peace, always.
Rest in peace. There's another thing we might be saying rest in peace to soon,
which is
the Avatar franchise.
The blue people?
Yeah.
Why? What'd they do? Too much underwater shooting? this is about to be great. I don't know.
Take a wild guess at how long the next movie is going to be. Stop me.
Stop.
It's going to be 5 hours long.
The water one?
It's going to be 5 fucking hours long. Second amazing fact.
Does it have an intermission?
I fucking hope so. Guess what the next amazing fact is about this movie that everyone wants to see? They have to make $2 billion to break even. Jake, they have to be the highest grossing movie of all time to break even. Who wants to see this movie? I think this might be the biggest fail.
What the fuck, man?
Dude, I don't know. I have no idea. Let me just make sure that I am quoting this right.
5 hours? I mean, here's the thing about Endgame and why it made so much money is because we wanted to go back and see it again. I'm not going to want to watch this motherfucker twice.
Oh, it's only 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
I saw somewhere it said 5 hours.
God, what if it is 5 hours?
Oh, well, never mind, because this says it's reported to be more than 3 hours long. Actually, there's not really a definite.
I hate to break this to people, but if you make a movie that's over, 3 hours is right at my cap where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I'll say this confidently, Endgame probably could have been taken down about 20 minutes.
Yeah, there were some scenes in the beginning.
There's some scenes in the beginning that drag a little.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could have been taken down about a good 15, 20, maybe 25. And I would have gotten out of there without having to almost piss on myself.
Yeah. I think a good 20 would have been good.
Yeah.
But no, dude.
Over 3. Fuck.
Also,
I'm sorry. Also, to break even.
Yeah.
That's a really weird way of looking at everyone and going, hey, you fuckers aren't making any money on this.
Literally. I don't understand. They're just going to lose money. Yeah. Avatar 2 needs $2 billion to turn a profit, James Cameron says.
He's so bad. He's so salty that Endgame beat Avatar that he's like.
Also, can we talk about the fact that I don't know if most people know this. The first Avatar is not the highest grossing movie.
No.
I don't. People talk about they've re-released it like 7 times.
Yeah. And they re-released it with 3D.
Yes, a lot of people don't remember this.
No.
One of the first it was re-released because it was one of the big production movies that they had shot with the ability to do that.
And we're not talking about like that shitty like red and blue 3D. We're talking about like the real 3D.
If y'all remember like the black lenses.
Yeah.
The black glasses. Yeah. When that 3D was introduced, there was probably like one new movie that was introduced with it.
Yeah,
but they brought back Avatar, and that was like the front runner. Was like go see Avatar in 3D.
Yeah,
and that was the re-release of it.
And because that movie was so visually stunning, which I have no problem admitting that it's visually stunning, everybody was like, "Oh fuck, we have to go see Avatar in 3D."
Yes,
you no longer have that incentive for people to go see it twice.
Yeah.
So, how exactly are you wanting it to...
I don't know. I think that literally now that you just have everybody you have this weird cult following. Like, whenever something reaches that peak of something, you just go see it because you're like, it's the next Avatar.
Also, I'm sorry. Do you know what now is an even more popular thing than it was back then? Is people just watching that shit illegally on their computer. And getting like an HD stream of it.
That's true.
Yeah. I was with the weekend Black Panther came out. I went to work the next Monday looked at one of my homies. And I was like, "Did you see it?" And he was like, "Dude," he was like, "I watched that shit last night." And I was like, "Oh, that's what's up." I was like, "Where did you go?" And he was like, "My bed." And I was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Oh, I just streamed it." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "But dude, streaming quality sucks so bad." I was like, "It's always like a weird shaky camera." And he was like, "No, I watched it in HD."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah,
Alright.
people are like hacking like UFC fights now
Yeah.
and like broadcasting that. Like,
Yeah, if you think that movie's going to make over $2 billion, you're crazy.
I just can't see it doing that.
Nah, I can't.
The only thing though is they re-released it in China. The first one they re-released it in China when Endgame was coming out, and that's what got it back to being like the biggest. Did you not know this?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that China and Japan, they released, I think, in both of those. I think that might be an area where I don't know, where that's where they get most of their views from, but
Could be.
I just don't see it making $2
I can't see an Asian parent letting their kid go to a theater for 5.5 hours. They'd be like, "Absolutely not. You better get your ass back in this house."
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't want to go see a movie for that. Dude, that's so long. Over 3?
Also, a movie that's like, that doesn't have any build up to.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry. I saw some of the graphics. It doesn't look that much better than the first.
It doesn't.
Like, the CGI doesn't look that great.
I think we've talked about this before. CGI and cameras and everything have kind of, I'm not going to say capped out, but they've kind of capped out.
Kinda.
We're kind of
Thanos was insane to me.
Yeah. Thanos was ridiculous. But
Yeah.
like we're just kind of at a point where like, but here's the thing, Thanos was insane and I've seen Thanos.
Yeah.
So
I see what
also
you're saying.
here's the other thing with the Avatar people. The more fake you look, the easier it is to not have to impress me. Thanos looked like a human. He
Yeah.
had like pores and veins.
Yeah.
These are like long, lengthy blue people with tails and big yellow eyes. If the CGI is a little fucked, no one's going to be like, "Oh, wait a minute, you can't see their eyelids on the They don't have eyelids.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit easier to.
Yeah. And it still just doesn't look that great. I
just
remember
don't
seeing a
understand the
trailer
hype behind those movies.
I don't either. I don't understand where
They're
it came
cool.
from. They're cool. The script's not great. It's just a cool visual. I don't understand.
It's literally the story of Columbus coming to the Americas.
Yeah, I don't get the hype behind it. I don't get it at all.
I don't know, man. That's a pretty. I was trying to think. What's like the longest movie that I've watched?
Mine would probably be Endgame.
Probably Endgame, right? 3 hours and 4 minutes. Is that the runtime?
Something like that. I don't know of any other movie that even goes over 3 hours.
Titanic. How long's Titanic?
Let me
Titanic's long as hell, right?
Titanic runtime. Oh, it's 3 and 14. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's long as shit. That's also ooh. Good topic. What?
Gone with the Wind is 3 hours and 58 minutes.
Oh, I remember. That's what it is. I do remember that.
I don't know if I've seen that.
We had to watch it in school, and I also had to get my mom to sign a permission slip because he says a cuss word in it.
Oh my God.
He goes, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." And we had to get a permission slip for that.
Oh my Lord.
I was going to say, for a lot of young men out there, watching Titanic was the first time I ever saw a naked lady in a movie. Do you remember your first naked lady you ever saw in a movie? What movie was it? Do you remember?
Ever saw in a movie?
Yeah. Like a little woohoo, little nip, little booby action.
I don't know if I do.
You didn't watch a movie that had booby?
I can't remember a very vivid one that I watched that was like, oh, that's the first time.
God, that's burnt. You don't remember the first titty you saw?
No.
My guy, you're wild.
Dude, I have
My
the worst
guy,
memory.
you're wild.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you want to talk about Chris Hemsworth being 7 to 8 times more likely to get Alzheimer's? This motherfucker has it right now.
Has it right?
He's 100. He's 100 times more likely to have it right fucking now in this moment. That's whack.
I literally get scared sometimes about if I'm remembering my own daughter's birthday. She's only 1. I don't know your birthday.
I know your birthday.
Is it February 8th? Is that yours?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
And yours is January 22nd.
But like I second guess myself. Like I have the worst memory.
Also, I wanted to talk to you about this. So I went to my mom's boyfriend's family's Thanksgiving.
Okay. I remember you saying this.
Big problem already because my mom has a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's not
that's
cool.
a hot
never
start to how not cool it is. Now, his parents, Harold and Deb, big shout out to y'all. Y'all are cool as fuck. Especially Harold. He was something in the military, like way back when. He was like a radio operator in the Army.
Cool.
Yeah, big time cool. Definitely killed a lot of people who were not white.
Didn't have to keep that.
He'll bring it up.
Okay.
He'll bring it up.
Okay.
He'll say it.
All right.
He'll say it.
Okay.
He'll say it.
That's all we need to talk about that.
So we did the thing. Well, I'm not kidding you about this. We were doing Thanksgiving with them, and his mom legitimately said, I thought this was a thing that never happened.
Oh,
She said, after the prayer, to who, I'm not sure. After the prayer, she said, I would like if everyone would go around and say one thing you're thankful for. I didn't know that was a real thing. If you guys in the comments could please click to the bottom of the video, tell me if your family's ever done that.
I would have just offed myself right there.
Well, Luke said them rolls and gestured to the Sister Schubert's rolls, which are pretty good.
That's a good answer.
Cassidy, I don't remember what Cassidy said. I said Kanye West, and then and then my mom said Jesus Christ, Jacob, and then her boyfriend said tequila, and then
Classy.
Yeah,
real
classy. But yeah, she said that, and I was like, I'm not kidding. Me and Luke and Cassidy were like arms linked around each other, like hanging like there. Just chilling because we don't really belong to any group there.
Yeah.
And she said that, and I went, yeah, and like laughed.
Yeah.
And then everybody was still just standing there, and I was like, she's for real.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's
What's
so
like a?
awkward.
Did you ever do like okay? Here's the thing. People who listen to this podcast. Santa Claus isn't real. Okay. Did you ever do like milk and cookies for Santa? Did y'all ever do that?
We did. I remember the first time I figured out that Santa Claus wasn't real.
Oh shit. How'd that go?
Oh, it was great. I remember we got this like playground, or we got something for Christmas that like you could tell like came from like a big box, like from like Walmart or Target.
Yeah.
And so we got it. I'm like 10 or 11. And I don't know how I still believe in it. I was always just kind of like, all right, yeah, like, but I didn't really know how it was like done, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I didn't know if like somebody.
You knew that something was up.
I didn't know if it was the government that dropped stuff off.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I just didn't. I was so young, I didn't know how things worked. So
Yeah.
I went to our little one of our like windows of our house that overlooks the driveway.
Yeah.
And I see the box. It's like I think it was like a playground, like a small like plastic playground for like the kids or something. And I come running in the kitchen going, Santa Claus isn't real! And I'm like distraught. And I'm like screaming. And I'm like, Santa Claus isn't real!
We're figuring out so much about why Braden is the way he is right now.
I'm like looking around like this. And I'm like, Santa Claus isn't real. It's in my stepdad's truck. The box is, and my mom borderline goes like this to me. She's like, and drags me away into the bedroom and basically like
you're
sits
like
me on the bed. And I'm like,
you're like you're like the Taliban. She's like a Navy SEAL with all the other people. She's like got a knife to your throat. She's like, you shut the fuck
she
up.
did that, and my stepdad grabbed the other kid's eyes and ears and just went, ah! And then my mom sets me in the room, and she's like, "You can never say that to anyone ever again."
Your mom treated you like a Gitmo, like a CIA dark web operator.
And so basically, they kind of told me and broke it to me, and I think that I think they pretended for Bailey and my other two brothers at the time, Bailey and Grayson, for a while, and then whenever they like adopted 4 more kids, they didn't do Santa for them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they just didn't even bother doing that whole thing.
I think that it was really weird because like with half of my family, they tried to do it. Like on my dad's side of the family, like they tried to do Santa. And then my mom was like, yeah, that guy's not real.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And so then I would go over to my dad's side, and my Lulu, when my great aunt on their side, she would be like, what would you like Santa to bring you for Christmas? And I would just be like, you lying son of a bitch. like you piece of shit.
She said to you, and you went, tuh!
Yeah, I spat in her face and then flicked a cigarette at her. And I was just like you whore, you lying whore. No, but I remember like I knew it with my mom, and then it took a year because I played into it with my shock and awe. I played someone with their feelings of Santa, and like
really,
and then the next year when it came around again, my mom was like, "Oh, I forgot to tell y'all last year, but like we stopped doing Santa with Jake," and I think my dad was like, "Wait, when?" And she was like, "Last year," and he was like, last year. And like last year I had leveraged the whole Santa thing because I pretended to like have doubts and be like, I mean, you guys can just give me stuff. I don't want Santa to bring me anything. And they were like, no, Santa's going to bring you stuff. And I was like, well, I was like, if Santa's going to bring it.
I would like a MacBook case for it. I would like this specific thing off of Amazon.
I was like, I'd like an SR-71 Blackbird. And so like I had leveraged that, and then
that's
I had to,
so good.
Yeah, and then I had to act like I didn't know what was happening the next year. I was like, huh? I was like, oh, I was just trying to be nice because like I didn't want to like mess with anybody's
my God,
like
you manipulator.
No, from a young age.
God,
I've been doing this shit for a while.
You have,
but yeah,
I think another thing about Santa, it's interesting because this conversation was had with my family. Like the whole weird, like, should we tell them that Santa Claus is real because we also tell them that God is real and to believe in God?
Yeah.
And so it's this weird thing that the South has. Some parents think like,
it's good to put the idea in your head of like having faith in things unknown.
Well, no, my mom, and the reason they didn't do it for the younger kids is because they were like, oh, it teaches them to believe in something, and then they find out it's not real. So you go through this like lifelong belief in something, and then you find out it's not real, and it's like, oh, well, if Santa's not real, why is God real? And so there's that like.
It's gonna be super
dynamic.
weird when they find out that neither of them are real. But no, they're also like
I thought
know
that was interesting.
Like the legend of Santa comes from a story. He's like Saint Nicholas is a person.
I knew that, but I didn't know to what extent.
But you know what's funny is like the Easter Bunny. Where the fuck?
Yeah, where did that?
That come from? That's not a thing. It doesn't even have anything to do with like a bunny or a rabbit.
Yeah,
like that.
What are we doing?
Yeah. And then
also, since I had a daughter, why in the hell did we ever start saying, you know what would be great for the holidays? get that Alcohol Anonymous motherfucker and throw him in a Santa costume and let a bunch of kids sit on his lap in the middle of a mall.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
That's kind of weird. That I'm going to be honest with you. Because
it's these mall guys are riding down the street and they see a homeless guy and they're like, hey, do you do heroin? Yes, you're Santa. Get in the back.
Yeah, they see some guy who's like kind of fat with white hair.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah. like literally the guy is sitting on the side of the street, a little overweight.
Yeah.
White hair. They drive by in a van, and Santa is
Sir, hey, we would like you to...
what is that? What was that?
Can you speak English? Get in the van. You're being Santa.
Just you hear English? But it's a white dude.
But then, not only to be some like weird, sketchy motherfucker, go in the middle of a mall and have people line up to sit on his lap.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
Here's a question. If I go sit on Santa's lap, here's the question.
That is a question.
If I sit on Santa's lap and I'm bigger than Santa, what do we do? Who in the mall stops me? What if I pick up Santa and put him on my lap? What if I go to the Mall of America and lean in? I walk in, I get a Quiznos. I scream at the worker behind the glass. She's like, sir, you already added 2 extra servings of pepper jack cheese. And I say, I thought this was America. Give me the fucking cheese, you whore. And I scream at her because it's my goddamn right. And then I go up to the Santa thing and I kick down the white gate made of styrofoam.
Push aside at least 12 children.
I kick a child in the head and then pick up Santa and set him on my lap. And I lean up and whisper in his ear and I go, let's see how you like it, you son of a bitch.
Now, what would you like for Christmas?
What would you like for Christmas? And he goes, honestly, I would just love to see my son again. and I'm like, who hasn't? And he's like, the Mall of America. That's how they got me here.
He just starts crying.
He's in my lap crying. He pulls down the beard and he's like, this isn't even real. I can smell the Jack Daniels on his breath. And I'm like, where's your son? And he just slowly points up.
And there's like a glass. There's a glass like office, and you just see this 2 men in black with a kid up against the glass, and they both have just guns pointed directly at him.
And then like a little squadron of men in green elf suits comes up to me, and they're like, you might want to get this. They all have Glocks. Just 9 elves.
Their elf costumes are shit.
Like I can clearly see.
It's like a hat and like a scarf, and the rest is like mafia clothes.
It's a hat, a scarf, and then a spray painted green flak jacket.
And their Glocks are like have Christmas bells on them. I don't know who you are, but you need to leave now.
You may want to leave.
Put the Santa down.
That'd be so
Oh
good.
my god.
Hey, you know what I started? Who the fuck's idea was a mall? Like, who was like, you know what we should make? A place where these pigs can really congregate. Like, who was sitting there and they were like, you know, these slobs really hate driving from place to place.
What if we just put a bunch of like clothes shopping, and so they don't have to walk for that far.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Put 7 fast food places in there." Also, at every, I don't know, 200 feet, put a standalone ice cream joint.
Yeah.
Also, a good old-fashioned Auntie Anne's.
Yeah. And, one Auntie Anne's, one Great American Cookie Company. And they're like, how big should it be? And they're like, at least 300 yards long. And then they're like, okay. And then they go, how many bathrooms should it have? And they go, 1. Somebody in the meeting room goes, just one.
Just one.
And then they're like, oh, no. That's actually smart, because then if we only have one bathroom, we could hire a guy to keep it clean. And then they go, that's where you're wrong, bitch.
That's where it gets fun.
That's where you'd be wrong. We're not going to hire somebody to clean it. Could somebody get Dennis the fuck out of here? What else should it have? A lids.
But sir, those aren't anywhere else in America. Exactly my point.
How about you shut the fuck up?
Also, at opposite ends of the store, 3 opposite ends of the store will have the exact same clothes supermarket called different names. One called Macy's and one called Belk.
Yeah. In the center.
But hold on, they're in the same mall. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What else should we put in there? One store that sells so much weed paraphernalia and sex toys, you can't even fucking count it. And up until you're the age of 14, your mother will go, no, not in there, as we walk by.
And then what should the main store be across from the food hall? Extremely underclothed women. Put a gigantic Victoria's Secret store right across from the Chick-fil-A.
Do you want to keep it low key? Put her tits on the wall. Put them right on the fucking wall. Okay, sir, that's enough meth for one day. And then they're dragging him out, and he goes, put a carousel in the middle. Put a carousel in the middle. All right, guys.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.